monetizing what we do does, it just increases the time that we can spend doing it and increases our reach. So it's actually creating more of a social impact as we monetize, because then if I can extend the time that I am spending on my social entrepreneurship venture, then I'm going to have more reach. Then I'm going to be able to do more. Then I'm going to be able to bring more and serve more.
Welcome to Global Socialpreneurs, a one-of-a-kind talk show showcasing expert social entrepreneurs. Learn their stories and their secrets to creating a sustainable impact. Now, here is your host, social entrepreneur Anne Scottlin.
Welcome back. I'm so glad to have you all with us here again today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and so excited to be on multiple platforms right now. So you can check out the notes and our posts to see where you can watch and listen to us on your favorite platform. So thank you for joining us here on Global Socialpreneurs, where we're having a new conversation about social entrepreneurship. We're working to expand the conversation and the awareness around this concept all over the world, and how people can get involved, how those of you who are already doing it can share your story and motivate others, and to learn how people run their businesses. How do you create a for-profit social impact business? And so that is one of the things we are going to be talking about with our guests today. So I am super excited today about this episode. We've literally been waiting months and months and months to have these guests on, and I'm so excited. Anousha and Toranj have been on my list forever. So these two women are some of my favorite people in the world. I love them. I love the work they're doing. They really blow me away with the impact they're making in the world. You're going to love hearing their story and what they're doing in their for-profit social entrepreneurship. So let me introduce you just a little bit more. First of all, we have Toranj KAYVON. She's a Canadian-Iranian actor, fashion photographer, and the co-founder of Joy Culture, which you're going to hear more about in a few minutes. She has photographed some of the biggest stars on the globe, and her film and TV projects can be seen on Amazon, Disney Plus, Hulu, and she has an interesting story. So after healing depression and an eating disorder and chronic suicidal thoughts, Toranj made her mission to help others and really transform their lives. And then also with us is my dear friend Anousha, who has been on some of my shows in the past. I'm so thrilled to have her back. She, of course, is an Iranian-American actor, author, director, and also a co-founder of Joy Culture. Anousha is a prominent Iranian influencer. And if you have any doubt about that, jump on Instagram and you will see. And particularly in the space of personal development. And she's been sharing her wisdom on social media for 8 years. Wow, I can't believe it's been that long. And she's also a best-selling author in the Middle East and one of the first women to introduce meditation packages in Persian. And I cannot wait to have them tell you more about what they're doing and the impact they're making in the Persian community. So please help me welcome Toranj and Anousha.
Thank you so much, Anne. We're so happy to be here, and we're so proud of the work that you're doing, and we're just happy to share. And
thank you so much for having us. We're very excited.
Absolutely. No, I'm just thrilled to have you here. So the first question I always ask all my guests is, so you are social entrepreneurs?
Yes.
Yes.
I love that answer so much. So Toranj, in your opinion, what is it about social entrepreneurship that makes it such a powerful tool for social change?
So as you mentioned in the introduction, I am also an actor, and I've spent 20 years behind the camera as a professional photographer. But what sets social entrepreneurship apart from a career path is that it is a vocation, it is a calling, it is a purpose, and it is initiated by one's own experience. It is initiated by your dharma. And for me personally, I went through, you'll hear about my background a little bit later, but essentially when you gain tools in life on how to live better, live closer to your authenticity, live more peace and ease, the first thing and only thing you want to do is to share that. You just want to give it away. You want as many people to have this in their life as possible. It's like medicine. When you discover this medicine, you just want to share it. And what makes social entrepreneurship so impactful is that it's not a career choice. It comes from this fire, this need, this desire that is connected to your soul and beyond. And that's what sets it apart from the other work that I'm doing, other work that Anousha's doing.
In our daily life, that we need those tools. Yeah.
Wow. I love how you said that, how it's different from a career choice. And it's more of like a fire in your belly to create change and make a difference. And yet people can make it part of their career. So I love that distinction, because I think what we talk about a lot on this show is how, while nonprofits do incredible work and have their place, kind of leading by example in a for-profit impact program is so much more powerful, because it engages everyone, from the people who run it to the people who work in it to the people who are affiliated with all of the output on the other end, and encouraging people to say, hey, you don't just have to give away money to make change, or you don't have to work for free to create change in the world. You can do it for profit, and you're actually showing other people how to do the same thing, which I think is just brilliant. And that's how impact is going to, I think, will be exponential over time as people really understand this.
Absolutely.
So yes. And then Anousha, also, how do you see social entrepreneurship changing the way things work as we go forward in time?
You know what Toranj and I teach in our courses, in our class, and we always talk about is if everything is energy, and energy is either light or heavy, we put labels like good, bad, ugly, beautiful, I want it, I don't want it, all these labels on it. All we're saying is that the energy of this is in light, it's in ease, or it's heavy, it's in resistance. If we know this, I feel like with what we're doing, we're bringing the quality of ease to people's life. And if that quality is something that people are looking for, and we create a safe space to show them that it's okay to step to the unknown and go for something that makes life easier, that's the impact that we're doing. We don't need to sell something physically to them. We have to create that space and show them that energy that it brings the quality of ease to their life. And it's more light. And that's what we're all looking for. That's how I think we do the impact.
That's amazing. Yes. And I think ease is such a great word, not only in conjunction with joy culture and what you're teaching around emotional wellness and practices, but also in the collaborative ability of us all as citizens of the world, creating a system that works better. We don't have to attach historical or political terms to that. But when we're all working for the common good, when we're all saying, how can we all make an income, have the life we need to have, and also change the way other people work and think along the way, that's really beautiful. And the more people that do it, also the more ease we bring to it. You know, when it becomes more common and less strange, be like, what is a social entrepreneur? You're doing social impact. I remember some people I often will talk to, and especially in other countries, and they're like, what, you're doing a social impact program, but you're charging money? And it's almost as if it's a dirty word or something. It was like, well, wait a minute. First of all, you know that most projects that are nonprofit have employees and people on salary and people that make money. So why not make money in an attempt to help other people improve their quality of life, as you are doing, improve their mindset for their work, for their families, for everything else, because that's going to make such a positive impact on their entire life, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
You're spending your life force on something. You're spending your time, your life force, which is the most valuable thing that you own and you have. And I don't see it as dirty money. I see it as change of energy. That's how I see it.
I love that.
What I would love to say is that the only thing that, first of all, as social entrepreneurs, we give so much away for free. We're most of what we're giving away is actually for free. And what making monetizing what we do does, it just increases the time that we can spend doing it and increases our reach. So it's actually creating more of a social impact as we monetize, because then if I can extend the time that I am spending on my social entrepreneurship venture, then I'm going to have more reach. Then I'm going to be able to do more. Then I'm going to be able to bring more and serve more.
That's excellent. I really appreciate you sharing it that way and saying it in those words, even because how much we give away for free, monetizing enough to make it work and to have enough income to continue to make it work. But also and then the more you do monetize, the more you can give away for free. So basically what that's doing is, for people who can afford to pay for specific services, you're charging reasonable fair market rates for that. And then by that extra income, you're able to give it out this great message to even more people. I think you articulated that so well, Toranj. And also, while I'm chatting with you, Toranj, we've been waiting on pins and needles to hear a little bit more about your backstory and how it brought you to this work now and why you're so passionate about it. So share a little bit with us in a couple of minutes.
Sure. So I was born in Iran and my parents immigrated to Canada. And so when you leave everything behind as immigrants, you're sacrificing something. You're making a sacrifice for a better future. And the only way you can guarantee a better future for your child is to implement certain expectations. And for my family, it was academic excellence and a certain career path that they envisioned would guarantee me that success and would make their sacrifices worthwhile. Now, what is the engine behind that? It is ultimately lack and fear. Right? So you come to a new place and you are in fear that if you don't go down this path, there will be pain, there will be lack. And so the kind of energy that my beautiful family had towards, my academic excellence and academic journey in Canada was very much of the energy vibration of force. And so that put me in the cycle of force as well. And so I was doing great in school, but my mental health was extremely abandoned. It was not a priority at all. It was just about the end result. So I did whatever it took to get that end result. Not sleep, drink Red Bull, take high doses of ADD medication, whatever it takes for me to be able to get that thumbs up from my family, from my teachers, right? And so when your family treats you like that, you start putting conditions on your worthiness. And so my worthiness, just like everybody else's through this process of being human, became very conditional. My worthiness is according to how I'm being perceived, how successful I look, what my grades are, etc., what my career path is going to be. And so I had a very, when you are living a life that is so opposite of what your authenticity is, your worthiness is not conditional. And if you're trying to achieve a certain outcome by betraying yourself, it doesn't work, because you can't ever be happy or joyful or healthy or well on a path that is not of that vibration, is not of that energy. And so it got to a point where I was so depressed, so overweight, so suicidal that was what made me go, okay, well, I'm going to die now. I'm going to die. So I either have to change my path or I'm going to die, Mom and Dad. And so I made the change. And so it was a full process of me. I had lived so long as someone that wasn't authentically Toranj, that was in survival mode for so long, that her worth was so conditional. And so I went on this journey, and at the same time was extremely ambitious, I've done great work in the world, and I was super ambitious, but I was able to accomplish things, but I was still not happy. I was still not happy. And so I became extremely curious about the science of success. How do I become successful? What is success? What makes success worth it? Aren't I supposed to feel wellness? Aren't I supposed to feel ease and joy? And so that whole process, I became so curious about it, because my whole thing was to better my life. And so as I started to learn these things and applied them, I was like, I need to share this with the world. I need to just teach it. I need to just teach it and give it away, because I want to be the person that I needed. I want to be the person that I needed. And so that's what we're doing with the through Joy Culture. Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And I love what you're saying basically about being, when we try to live our lives in a fake mode, where we're pretending, where we're not really being our authentic selves. It's almost like, and all of us in this room have been actors and are actors, so we also understand, but it can literally become an acting. I've often said that I was an actor way before I was an actor, because I had learned so well how to act to get the approval, the motivation, the, financing for college, whatever it was, getting the grades, doing the things, like, as you're saying, when you try to live in a fake space for too long, when that's not really what's happening in your heart, it is disastrous physically. I relate to that as well, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And it's such a great reminder to anyone out there who is just out flat and stressed out and feeling like they're having to fake their feelings in order to get the approval they need. I love that you're bringing them these tools in Joy Culture that teaches people how to have mental wellness, and that it's going to lead to physical wellness and to have joy again, to really, well, that's why it's called Joy Culture, right?
Yes. And I love the word depression, because you're saying I'm depressing something. I'm depressing and pushing down something. So if you are depressing your natural impulses, your nature, essentially, life's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Life's gonna suck.
Absolutely.
Because energy doesn't lie, and there's an authentic language within each one of us, and it has its own way of talking to you. And if you're not listening to that intuition, listening to that feeling, it's like an authentic thing just for you. It will talk and talk and talk till you listen to it, or you will live an unhappy life.
And not just
as simple
unhappy,
as that,
but unhealthy as
unhealthy,
well. Autoimmune diseases is your body eating away at the self. If you are not looking, depression, everything is about, if you're not honoring the nature that is you. And I always like to use the example of, like, nature has made you an apple tree, and you're looking at the banana tree and the cherry tree, and you're never then able to be in full bloom, because you're not even tapping into your own nature and what the creation, what creation has put into you, because you're constantly in comparison and in lack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's so true. It's so true. And I think that is, I love that your journey, Toranj, brought you into among one, doing things you're very passionate about in your career, and then also into social entrepreneurship. Because for me, social entrepreneurship, it feels like a healthy place. You can't do that. You can't be a social entrepreneur with honor unless your head and your heart and your gut are aligned. And unless you know that what you're doing is worthwhile and that you're making an impact, that you're making a difference. So just again, we talk about that leading by example. Even in this conversation in social entrepreneurship, leading by example is not working yourself to death, taking care of yourself, body, mind, soul, heart, and preparing so that you can be of the most service. And as you are both doing, really inspiring the people around you to do the same. That's the ripple effect, whatever you want to call it. And I love that so much. We have to take a really quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to hear about Anousha's story, her background, incredible life she has led and through incredible challenges, and how that's brought her to the work she's doing now, including social entrepreneurship in joy culture. We'll be right back. Global Socialpreneurs is brought to you in part by Positive Talk Radio, KKNW 1150 AM in Seattle. Check them out at www.positivetalkradio.net. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for keeping your dial here, your digital dial, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to say welcome back again because that was really lame. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, here we go. Welcome back. Welcome back. So glad you are here listening and that you stayed tuned to hear another incredible story from one of our guests. I'm interviewing Toranj and Anousha today and discussing their social entrepreneurship, which is called Joy Culture, where they're making a tremendous impact in the world, especially in the Persian-speaking community. But Anousha, before we talk more about Joy Culture, I just would love for you to share your backstory with us and how it brought you to this work now. I know you've been through a lot of ups and downs to get to a place where you felt passionately about not only living the life of your dreams, but giving back in a unique way. Tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely. Thank you. I was born and raised in Iran. And I think by this modern world that we're living, we all hear Iran's name and what's happening almost every day in Iran. Iran has a very strict religious government ruling it. And growing up in there means like you as a woman almost have no power over almost any decision that you're making, or if you want to make any decision, it would not be supported. And there's going to be a lot of conditioning under that in school every day to make sure that you obey, as simple as that, obey whatever they want you. And I always wanted to be an artist. I always wanted to live not this mask, not this persona that I am. I wanted, and it was not easy to do that in Iran. And so I decided to leave. And I was very young. I couldn't even speak English when I left, but I was like, oh, there's always a way. I'll find out. And I did that. And when I left, it was back in London first, when I moved out of Iran, I little by little understood that how much undoing I need to do and how much.
And I'm going to interrupt you there because I just want our viewers to understand, when you say you left, it wasn't like your whole family immigrated from the country. You left alone as a teenager, correct?
Yeah, I left alone as a teenager. My whole family are still back in Iran. And yeah, I couldn't speak English. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know even how to get to school, get into the school and everything. And I had to build all those steps by step while I came from a very different culture and a different background. And every day I understood, like, the way I'm thinking, the way I am as a woman, how much hiding there is, how much shame I learned, how much guilt I feel every day as being who I am. As simple as that. And I needed to do a lot of unconditioning. And as day by day passed, and then eventually got to my school, and then traveled to the US, and then stayed here, and then this became my home, I was not in ease with myself. I was a very angry person, and the energy that I was using most of the time was a very masculine energy, because that's what survives in Iran. If you're in a masculine energy, you can survive, but the feminine energy means weak, means you cannot do anything almost. It means shameful. And I had to get a lot of that, like, out of myself, change my energy, cycle back what it was meant to be me. And as I was doing it, I was alone again, traveled again, changed countries, changed states. I couldn't really share it with my parents every day, what I'm going through. And I was like, what if I go on social media? And I know social media is a place that everyone shares their beautiful life and their beautiful pictures and their holidays and all of that. I was like, I'm just going to share how horrible today was as an immigrant. And I'm going to explain how hard it is as an Iranian woman to do some unconditioning. And I would write long captions. And I cannot tell you how fast my social media picked up and how much people resonated with things like that. Because we just show the beauty of everything and what we're actually going through, which is the another part of us that is very authentic. We just hide it and we have shame around it. And I start sharing those. Like, I learned this. Here's the tool. I went to this retreat. This is what happened. I'm speaking to this teacher. I would pay for that teacher to teach me, and I would come online and just add value because I knew how painful that is to go through it, and I didn't want anyone else to go through it. And I knew there's so many people that they don't have the access of what I had access to, like being able to travel and take risks and explore. So many people are still afraid, and if I show the path that is safe for them, and they can change and they can choose and they can take risks. And that's how my whole journey of years and years of being on social media started. And then Joy Culture with Toranj was like, there's so many things in our culture, we can claim that, in our culture or Middle Eastern culture that are very close to each other, that are not serving anymore. It's just as simple as that, and it's not serving. And how do we feel like it's not serving? It's not joyful. Anything that is in our culture and is going to serve us, it should be in the path of joy, because that's how you create in life. When you're joyful about something, when you're excited, when enthusiasm is so high that you want to create, it could be anything. And if it's not serving, if it's not joyful, it's not serving anymore. And I'm like, what if we have a culture that is joy? So joy culture. And that's how this journey with her and I started. And we started serving through joy culture.
Yeah, I think it's the first time, not the first time, but, you know, there are very few people in our community, Iranian community, who are speaking about the undercurrents of the culture and our beliefs that, you know, we have held on to for so long. And maybe at one point in history, it was an advancement, but it is, like Anousha was saying, it is not in service at this time. You know, we can't be operating from the energy of survival. We can't be operating from the energy of fear. We have to shift to understanding that which we are desiring, understanding the energetic quality of that desire, and then matching our current belief systems and actions and journey to that end result goal.
And I would love to add one more thing with social entrepreneurship is that there's always going to be a little bit of pushback. When I started introducing, like many years ago, meditation, mindfulness, so many things in Persian to our community, people always, when there's something unknown and they're afraid of, they make fun of it. That's the best way to deal with something that it feels heavy and it's unknown. And there's always a little bit of pushback. So there's so many people who can listen to this episode and be like, yeah, I want to start my journey with social entrepreneurship. Know that there's going to be a pushback, and it's okay, because they're going to be a community that they're in acceptance of what you're about to do. Just, they have to keep going. I had a lot of years of pushback till people are like, no, this makes sense. We practiced it with her for so many years, and now we see the result of it.
I think.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's great.
I think whenever there's a new vibration that you're bringing into a community, introducing, and it's unfamiliar, then people start to think, oh, there are ulterior motives. There are selfish motives. You know, whereas you're just not sure of what that energy is. And then when you start experiencing it, like you said, that it drops in and you get it.
No, it's so true. And I think that's such a great thing to highlight. And I don't think something that we've necessarily talked about overtly on the show before, which is that there will be pushback You will also have people who support you, but there will also be pushback. And when there's pushback, I usually say it's like no publicity is bad publicity, right? It's sort of like, we're getting people's attention, on social media. When I start, if I get unsolicited and unpleasant comments, I'm like, or if people disagree with me, I love that the most, because I'm like, I'm getting attention, people's attention to think about issues that really matter. People aren't passionate about things that they don't, that doesn't trigger something in them, good or bad. So when you get that pushback, we're making an impact here, which is really incredible and such a good thing to remember for social entrepreneurs. Well, we have to take one more quick commercial break. So when we come right back, we're going to hear more about what Toranj and Anousha have built with Joy Culture and how that for-profit business is making a social impact. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Ann Scottlin. Are you one of those people who always wants to aim higher? Would you like to increase your profits and your personal fulfillment at the same time? And wouldn't you love to make a greater impact in your business and your life? If your answer is yes to any of those, find out more and send me a message at annscotland.com/special. I would love to work with you. Welcome back. I'm talking to Toranj and Anousha today about Joy Culture, their for-profit social entrepreneurship, and talking about the incredible impact they've been making on many lives, and especially those internationally around the Persian community. So ladies, tell me a little bit more about how you decided to create programs in Persian and why that was so important to you.
Joy Culture is conducted in both English and Persian. Our target audience is the MENA community, which is the Middle Eastern North African community. Our cultures have there are similarities between the cultures. We really wanted to also do it in Persian so that we can serve our community and with the specific issues that our community is facing. And could you kindly repeat the rest of your question?
Sorry, go ahead.
So Joy Culture right now is a YouTube show, a podcast. We have courses online. And the reason we created is that we want to bring more ease instead of being in so much conflict, in so much resistance. A small issue comes up, we need to be able to just communicate if even we disagree with each other. And Toranj and I have learned for the past, I would say 10 years that we are in personal development, so many tools that has changed and shifted our lives. And we're like, let's share those. So let's share them on little clips on Instagram, or make a full course if someone is interested in it. And with these little tools, we hear so many emails. We get so many emails, so many voice messages to us that, oh my God, this one breath work has changed my life. I was so stressed at work. Or this little meditation is shifted my relationship with my husband.
Or this belief shift has really, we're there in any community. There's always a momentum of energy brought on by beliefs that have been continually passed on, and that those beliefs are conditioning. And the moment you come in and go, hey, how about this belief? Would this belief help you achieve what your intended outcome is faster? Would it bring, like Anousha said, would it bring more ease to you? Would it bring more joy to you and wellness? Because ultimately, anything that we do is for the outcome of wellness. But sometimes our actions and beliefs and conditioning is so contrary to that. So what we're doing with Joy Culture is we are helping people create the beliefs and tools that allow them to achieve something that is in service rather than taking away or coming from a place of lack.
Absolutely. And I want to elaborate on that just a little bit too for our viewers, just to kind of point out and highlight the fact that while there are literally countless programs and shows and podcasts around emotional wellness and wellness in general, this was a really unique program because it wasn't just for anyone in the world. This was for a Persian-speaking audience primarily. That's the primary focus. And a lot of people in your audience had never been exposed to these tools. Is that right? Like, this was brand new information to many of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes there's things in our culture that can be very thick and just sitting and embedded in the whole thing, and little by little getting out of it, it takes time. So these tools are so new to people, and we have so many people that are very interested in things like this, and we are excited to share it with them.
Yeah, when we'll record an episode or a podcast, and we will share something about how our culture or how certain beliefs within our culture impacted our lives and disrupted that which is authentic and joyful and aligned with wellness. And we share that. We'll share, like, for example, my parents' outlook on my career. Or Anousha will say my relationship with, work addiction, and or our idea of what is worthy in our society. And we'll break those down, and the number of comments, hundreds of thousands of comments that we get with people crying and saying, this is the first time I have heard this expressed outside of my own body and mind. And I'm finally seeing somebody express this resistance that I have experienced for years. And the people before me have experienced it for years, and I have constantly seen it being experienced. And for the first time, someone is verbalizing it and showing it and saying, hey, this is a thing and there's an alternative to this. And that is what is really creating the attraction that we're getting with joy culture, is that we are expressing things for the very first time and offering tools.
Oh, that is just so beautiful and moving. And I've always been so excited about the work that you're both doing, and what an incredible need there was that wasn't really being met and supplied. And the fact that you're literally changing the energy of the world by changing it in the minds and hearts of people on every continent, understanding that loving themselves more, taking care of themselves more, realizing that they're valuable just the way they are is so incredibly beautiful. And you have free programs, you have paid for programs and services and products. I know Anousha has a best-selling book. You can look in the notes to find out how to get that. Literally, give us 10 seconds about how amazingly your book has done, Anousha.
We in the first 2 months of the book that was released, we sold almost 54,000 copies of it, which became the most sold book of Iran. And it's still going very successful.
Wow. That release was all in Iran, right?
So Iran, and on Amazon.
Amazon for Persian speakers.
Yes, it's in Farsi.
Yes. In Farsi. Okay. Excellent. Farsi. Yes. I'm like, I hear you guys go back and forth, so I keep switching. This is amazing. I would absolutely, I mean, our time has just flown. I knew it would. I would love to have you guys, have both of you back someday to just talk about how, as social entrepreneurs, regardless of the product or service we are creating or providing to create social impact, how we can be leaders around social and emotional wellness and change in social and emotional wellness through the work we do, leading with certain principles and values and compassion for people that's more than just, say, their bodies and the clean water, but how can we also convey the kindness, the reassurance that they are valuable, that they are cared for, that they are worthy. Would love to talk to you more about that, because I think so many of us who are hard workers and entrepreneurial and social entrepreneurs, we know how to work really hard. We know how to get the jobs done, but let's not lose the greater picture of how, as a world citizen, not only are we affecting how people, what clean water and good food and education and medical, but also taking care of their hearts and minds. And part of it is leading by example, once again, in how we interact with people and treat them and encourage them, and taking everyone seriously, not brushing people off because they don't seem as important. So I think these are critical pieces to social entrepreneurship. We have to wrap up already. I'm just sad that it's already the end, but I want to thank you both for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Anne, for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure
talking to you.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. And we're so excited about the work that you do. And the last thing I want to say is social entrepreneurship is a tool for humanity to expand its consciousness. And when people expand their consciousness and awareness, people have choice. we're giving people choice. And choice is what makes us creative. It makes us return back to the creative nature of our being. We're all creators. And when we know that, and when we have that choice, and when we have that awareness, then we are powerful. So that is what Global Social Entrepreneurs is doing. You guys are spreading more awareness about what it means to be a social entrepreneur. And we're so grateful for the work that you do.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And thank you for those kind words of encouragement. And we want to thank all of you, our viewers and listeners today. Thank you for joining us. Stream every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. That's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, wherever you are in the world today. Thank you for tuning in. Please check out Joy Culture in the notes with Anousha and Toranj, and see more about what they're doing. They have very active social media that you would love to follow. So be sure to check that out as well and support them in this incredible work they're doing. Thank you to all of you, to you both, wonderful, beautiful souls. And to all of you out there, be kind to those you meet today. And also remember to be kind to yourself. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.